Episode 9 is here, and at this point in the story, anything anyone says is super important. So, this episode, I'll be following what I think are the main storylines I believe will give us the most truth and answers to the questions we've been dying to find out. Because, as I said before, there's a few red herrings amongst the people, and somebody somewhere is doing some lying. Now, before I get to the details of episode 9, Revelations chapter 1, please make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Okay, so first things first, Smiley is back. Yes, that's right, he's back. But it's only a flashback. Now, this isn't a spoiler because being one of the first, if not first from detectives, Smiley has been listed as extra on IMDb episode 9 and 10, which is the season finale. So both these scenes could be flashbacks, but right now we don't know. Fingers crossed we get some more information about Smiley, a backstory, a couple more scenes, or something else. Now, the scene starts when Tabitha enters the basement and finds Victor doing his best Blair Witch impression. Now, when she touches him, she gets these weird feelings, and after their second encounter, she totally spazzes out and has the vision of Miranda. And as the audience, we are guessing that she sees these from Miranda's point of view and doesn't only see them, but relives the moment. Now, us as the audience, we see Miranda killed by Smiley outside the bottle tree, which is crazy that she went into the woods alone at night with no weapon or seemingly no plans. Now, I don't know what she thought would happen or if she thought the boy in white would protect her, but he didn't, and she's dead. Now, Victor never said where he buried Miranda's body. So my thought is that she might be one of the creatures at the point in this story. Now, could she be what's lurking around the lost village? Now, next, we get this scene where Tabitha has some realization, but she doesn't tell the audience what it is. Now, I'm guessing at this moment is where she realizes that she is Miranda. Now, I know there's a lot of chatter on the Facebook groups and online and Reddit, and originally, fans have been thinking for a while that Tabitha was Eloise, and I can't lie, I was one of these people, because we still don't know where Eloise is or where her body is. And you know how the internet detectives go. If there's no body, then there's no case. No face, no case. If the glove does not fit, you must acquit. And so if there's no body, she could still be alive. Now, the only follow-up story of Miranda is that Victor and Henry found her shirt in the caves. So let me know what you guys think of this conundrum. Is Tabitha Miranda? Is Eloise dead or alive? And is Eloise one of the creatures? Now, the next big crucial information that we get is from the boy in white and Victor. Now, I believe this ends Victor's storyline. Yes, it ends Victor's storyline because at this point in the season, we know everything that Victor knows. The Fromville people have successfully squeezed all the information out of Victor over these past 40 years, and we know about Christopher, Jasper, his sister Eloise, his mother Miranda, and the boy in white. Now, we're not really sure on their connection, and some might think that Victor might be the boy in white, or if we're now dealing with reincarnation, he might be the reincarnation of the boy in white, but it could be one of those things. Now, Victor, having some mental breakdown, decides to end everything that's in his mind with his past thoughts and sever the connection, which is the bottle tree. Victor's had enough, so he decided to get an axe and cut down the bottle tree, and then as he swings his first chop, he sees the boy in white. Now, Victor starts getting super emotional and asking the boy in white some questions, which we've been wanting for a long time. Victor has not seen the boy in white for a long time, and so this would be his first real conversation. Victor begs him to tell him WTF is going on. Now, we do get a response from the boy in white. We hear his voice, and he kind of tells us this little sob story about how after Christopher, he quit trying to help the residents solve the mystery of Fromville and instead lets the town folks literally die trying. Now, as vague as this info is what we got. And now we know why the boy in white only jumps in a few crucial times to save a few key characters, which have mostly been Boyd. But when you think about it, he didn't try to save him from the night that Tien died, because he must have knew that he would have survived, or he could have gave the order for the creatures to not harm him. Now, the boy in white's final words are, if you want to help the people, do not cut down the tree. And Victor does not. Now, I honestly feel like Victor should have kept chopping down the tree because they're pretty much done anyway, right? I doubt anyone will be able to go back through the tree after what happened to Dale. Now, it seems that only one chosen person can go through only when the boy in white tells them. And even if it is Tabitha and she goes through the tree again, what and how does she solve the mystery? We still don't know. Now, the only theory I had from a few weeks ago was that Jade was their only hope, and the only reason why is because he will decipher the bottle tree messages and paper as musical notes. Now, I came to this conclusion because the show is music based, and from the intro to Jade and Victor playing the violin, and I'm willing to bet that if he plays a certain song, the kids will be free. Now, the next main storyline is Elgen, who has to be possessed at this point because he's doing his best Silence of the Lambs reenactment of Buffalo Bill by keeping Fatima locked in his basement and feeding her weird objects, mostly blood. Now, last episode, we see Elgen lure Fatima away from the cabin by telling her Ellis sent him to get her. And later in the episode, we see him even partner with Ellis to fake look for her and find her. Now, Elgen is definitely one of those friends who'll steal from you and help you look for it. Now, I'm guessing that he did this to try to convince Ellis that what Fatima's doing wherever she is saving everyone, but Ellis is not buying it. Now, I did say a few reviews ago that Elgen might have been possessed even before he entered Fromville, or if you want to believe the NPC theory, has been programmed this way because Elgin's personality has undergone an entire switch, and he 100% is not acting like the same person like in season 2, even though he was weird then. Now, Elgen has her trapped in the basement, and he's trying to feed her blood in this really dirty, unsanitary jar. Now, Elgen said that the baby was hungry. Now, I guess this proves that Fatima is pregnant or has something inside of her, but if he's drinking blood, it's not a regular baby. That's not on the regular baby's diet. Now, it could be what I was thinking before, the Wendigo. It could be that a vampire, which everyone thought when they watched season 1 of From. But Elgen saying this, how does he know, and why does he think this will help everybody go home, right? How, right? He hasn't explained that part. And then also, where is he getting his information from? It has to be what the kimono woman is telling him, because we do see signs of her whispering his ear, and I believe that she has somehow possessed him, but he could have even been possessed, like I said, before he entered. But so my question is, why was Fatima chosen? Was she chosen because of her connection to this place from outside of her relationships to Ellis and Boyd? Now, I do believe that the overall theme of this season is breaking Boyd, and I believe they're doing that through the people in the town which they know he cares about. The torturing of Kenny, killing his entire family, and now targeting his family. Now, I do believe they're not targeting Ellis because he's not that close to Ellis. But I'm sure grandkids, and that is what would possibly pull on his heartstrings. Now, at this point, I do believe Fatima is a goner, and I do believe they have a decision to make, either save the baby or save Fatima. And I do believe that the scenes that we see Ellis and Fatima a couple episodes ago were the last scenes that those two would have together. I do not believe that Fatima and Ellis will ever see each other again. I believe that she's probably not going to survive the pregnancy, and they're trying to save her. So they are at that fork of the road, but they're not going to get to her fast enough. Now, on that topic of getting to her fast enough, Sarah has entered the chat. Sarah is having some sort of visions and hearing some sort of voices. Now, Sarah goes to tell Boyd and Ellis that she has heard some voices and that the voices are telling her that Fatima is missing, but that she is close. Now, I do want to point out that anytime Sarah starts hearing voices, somebody's going to die. That's just how it works. She is total tool in Fromville and does whatever the voices tell her. Now, she is the number one hitter for whoever these voices are. And I want to point out that she did say the voices were laughing. Now, if there is dual entities here, meaning one good, one bad, and at times she has tapped into the good, I think at this time she has tapped into the bad. Right? Now, Sarah has more bodies than any other creature, only rivaled to Smiley himself. So, will they find her in time? We don't know, but we did see them put together this little search party, and so far the closest one was Tabitha and Julie and Victor, if you want to add him. But we see that Tabitha fully sidetracked with her epiphany about Miranda. But we'll have to see. Now, the next and last storyline is Julie, which I believe is the new main storyline for the show. And Julie has become the town's savior. Last episode, she time traveled back through the ruins to the dungeon, and we found out she was actually the one who threw Boyd the rope. Now, in this episode, she opens up to her mom and says she wasn't dreaming, but it was like she went somewhere, and she talks about the guy chained to the wall. Now, Tabitha wouldn't know who this guy chained to the wall is because she never met him, but us as the audience know that she talked to Martin. Now, also, Julie confirms that the kids are saying Aunt Cooey, and this means that she was chosen. So, and then after they have this little surreal moment where they're finally communicating and talking to each other, almost right on cue, one of the Ankui kids show up and tell her to follow her, which pretty much picks up where I started this breakdown of them finding the root cellar, finding Victor, and being so close to Fatima, but the kimono woman appearing and holding her mouth and keeping her quiet. So that was a crazy, crazy part there. And so that's why I do not think they're going to find Fatima, because they'll already say they went to the root locker and they didn't find anything. So as this episode ends, there are a couple things we know and a whole bunch of stuff we don't know. Is Victor the reincarnation of the boy in white? Who was Jim talking to on the radio? What was the bracelet about? Who was the boulder guy Jade saw in season 1? WTF happened to Christopher? Who is Martin really? Who do the pills belong to? Who is the body found in the root cellar? Was it Jade? What do the red rocks mean? What was knocking around the Lost Village cabin? Was it creature Miranda? And of course, the biggest one, how will they escape? We have one episode left, so hopefully there's not too much of a cliffhanger, but I'm sure we'll get one. So as always, thank you for watching. And of course, I love to discuss with you down in the comments. If you're looking for any From merch, check out my Spreadshirt page. I'll put the link in the description. And of course, please join me tonight, Sunday, after the MGM app premiere of From, for another round of From trivia. Thank you. I'm the Movie Guru, and I'll see you next week on the season finale.